Hello and welcome back to the Delve podcast. Today we're talking about why it's valuable to plan to move to Albania with your significant other. Sort of, maybe. Just kidding. We'll explain later. I'm Allie. I'm a staff therapist here at Delve Psychotherapy of Chicago.
And I'm Adam. I'm the executive and clinical director at Delve Psychotherapy of Chicago.
We're not trying for fame here with this podcast. We don't plan to run any ads. We're just trying to add value and be helpful to as many people as possible. So please do share the pod with others, spread the love. Also, do follow us on Instagram at Delve Psych Chicago. And do check us out over on Substack, delvepsych.substack.com. Here at Delve Psych, we offer individual, couples, group, and family therapy. If you're interested in our services, head on over to delvepsych.com. That's DELVEPSYCH.com for a free consultation call. I should do tongue twisters before we start the pod.
Does that actually help? Like for actors, does tongue?
Oh yeah.
I know that you
but
have
I gotta,
to do
but
the...
I gotta, putta. To sit in solemn silence on a dull, dark dock. Okay, yeah. Anyways, they're coming back to me. This is crazy. Okay.
That's
help,
my
yes.
favorite thing that has ever happened. I'm prone to hyperbole, but that was awesome. So yeah, do those on air. I think maybe that's how we start every episode.
Okay, that won't be annoying for people to listen to.
You're good at them. That was fun.
Thank you. Yeah, honestly, I was surprised. Like muscle memory, just how quickly that just came back. I can do a play now. No. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I tangent for just a second? When people say muscle memory, they are they are always talking about the basal ganglia, in fact. So it's basal ganglionic memory, not muscle memory. The memory is in your brain. Right. It's not in your muscles.
You're right. Yeah, that's just a figure of speech.
I do, sure. No, allow me a moment's pedantry on our pedantic podcast.
But anywho's, okay. So the topic for today, yes, we suggest that no matter where you are in the world, no matter what your partnership is like, move to Albania. That's
this isn't actually an ad for Albania either. We promised you no ads. We are not running ads, not even for Albanian tourism and visa immigration statuses, I swear.
So what is this topic? Because yeah, literally all you put in the Excel spreadsheet was plan to move to Albania, and I was like, what are we talking about? So care to enlighten?
I do. So this has become an exercise. It's one of my favorite exercises, but there's a handful of exercises that I have, especially for couples, that no one does. I can't get my couples to actually do, even though I know for sure that they are valuable. They just won't do them. Now, I have a very comfortable relationship with client homework, where if I assign a homework assignment and you don't do it, okay, fine. I don't care. I mean, I do care, but like, it's sort of an opportunity for you to explore a particular topic. And if you choose not to take that opportunity, you're an adult. Most of my clients are adults, but you're an adult and you can kind of choose for yourself whether or not you want to explore this thing. But that doesn't mean that there's not a value to it. And it doesn't mean that you're not missing out on some opportunity to explore a really interesting idea. I think this is a really interesting idea in the following way. I find that many couples have this reflexive tendency to just shut down an idea right off the bat and not explore, not discuss, and can't even consider. And sometimes it's even an idea that both people are kind of nominally interested in or hypothetically interested in, but it's just so out of character for the broader conversation that tended to happen that nobody will go there. Everybody's scared, or it just seems like out of left field. This can even be one of the things that impacts things like sexual intimacy between partners, where it's like, I'm not quite willing to kind of talk about what I'm interested in or what I want to try or what's happening between us. And so I kind of pull back on that. So the idea with Plan a Move to Albania is to practice the idea of having an absurd conversation about a thing that's not going to happen, that we will not do, but have the conversation. Practice having practice living in two minds where you are able to kind of think imaginatively and deeply and consider ideas that you wouldn't actually adopt just as a means of practice.
Because the conversation could be stimulating and you don't know where it'll take you, and you might uncover new and interesting things.
Absolutely, but also because we need the skill to be able to talk about the absurd idea so that we can talk about absurd ideas that aren't as absurd as we thought they were. So if in planning a move to Albania, you take the task seriously and you say, okay, how would this actually work? If we were to do it, how would it actually work? Where would we live? What are the visa status situations? What would we eat? Like, what's the food culture like? What would we do for fun? What would our spending look like? Could we open a bank account? How would we travel around the country? Could we get a driver's license? Where would we enroll our kids in school? What language would we need to speak? How hard is that language to speak? If you were to explore all of those ideas deeply, that is the same kind of conversation that you would be having if one day one partner said, I'm thinking about going back to school.
Now the going back to school conversation doesn't seem so crazy and out there and scary, right? Yeah.
Which, by the way, that's called the door in the face phenomenon, what you just described, where you offer something that's absurd and the person's like, oh my gosh, no, that's crazy. And then you offer something that's less absurd, and you're more likely, in terms of persuasion, the person's more likely to respond favorably.
Yes. Yes. I thought that was the foot in the door phenomenon. Is that a different
There's
one?
two. There's two. Foot in the door is, hey, would you mind just let me update your contact information in the system here? Oh, that's wonderful. And we like to keep a couple of notes. Could you just remind me? So you graduated in 2019, so you're giving information, and so this is the one that universities tend to use when the alumni department starts calling for donations.
Oh my
They'll
goodness.
they'll just ask for little bits of information and get you, just
a little more and a little more and a little more, and then okay.
What are you doing for work these days? Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, it sounds like you've done well for yourself. And then,
Okay.
But let me say about the plan to move to Albania. It's not like have this conversation so that you can have another conversation. The idea in general is be willing to have conversations about absurd ideas, period.
Yeah. I mean, because I see twofold. Like I see how having that sort of out there conversation would make other conversations like, hey, I'm thinking about going back to school, more approachable. And I wonder if an idea that we thought originally was super absurd, after we talk about it, doesn't seem so absurd anymore. And maybe we uncover some hidden dreams of one of our partners or of ourselves, or things that we desire that we thought before was oh no, that's impossible. I'm just complacent with my ordinary life and the way things are. And it's well, why not? Let's
Absolutely. Right. So if one day one partner says, I think we should get a dog, I would generally say foul play for the other partner to say, oh no. Right off the back, right off the bat, I call that a knee-jerk no, where you didn't really think about it. You just said no. But I would say the better conversation to have would be, I have to confess my skepticism and maybe even my worry. But how would this work if we were to do it? If we were to do this, I'm not signing on for this yet. But if we were to do this, how would it work?
Yeah, let's just explore here. 100%. I think that kind of conversation is so common. One partner presents something to the other partner and the other one's oh no, because it's
I'm
too
guilty
hard.
of it myself. And
Yeah.
yeah, in my own life, the first time somebody brings up an absurd idea, I'm almost always the one to be like, no, that's crazy. What are you talking about? And
No,
then
no,
move
no.
on. I just try to train my mind to like remember how often I've done that and to go back to it. So like 20 minutes later, 3 days later, 4 years later, I'm like, you remember you brought up that thing and I said no immediately? I feel like that deserved a little bit more attention.
Yeah. Yeah. Because maybe, maybe we don't want to move to Albania, but maybe we want to move to California or something.
Right.
And through the conversation about Albania, we realize, you know what, there is actually like a deep desire in me to move somewhere different and explore a different place and move somewhere warmer or, whatever. And like suddenly, like the move to California doesn't seem as crazy. Um,
Absolutely. And it's
yeah.
fun to dream too, right? Like, how amazing would it be to dream of this big move to this new place or this new adventure in our lives? We could dream about it and then we could put it away and go back to our normal lives. You could also potentially lay the groundwork for later things that you might eventually take on. So, let's say the political winds shift just enough. And one day somebody says, hey, you remember we were talking about moving? I'm starting to think maybe that wasn't such a crazy idea.
And now we've already kind of thought about it.
And now we've already kind of established this way of speaking together about absurd ideas.
Yeah. I also just think, I mean, it's especially when you've been with your partner for several years and you feel like you know your partner inside and out. You could guess their answers or responses to about anything. You've heard all of their childhood stories ad nauseum over and over. Why not present such an absurd idea that you don't know what they might think about it or how they might respond? It would be an interesting date idea, right? For those couples that have been together for eons. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
let's have some
absolutely.
absurd topics and ideas of what we could do together and and discuss why not.
Why not? And it again, I think that the kind of splitting your mind in two here is really very valuable. I'm able to talk about an idea while not necessarily agreeing with the idea. I'm able to entertain something without just constantly saying like, well, I don't like borscht. It's like, well, can you focus? Can you focus on how this could work? Let's say you had to do it, then what would you do?
It's so interesting though, because even if we frame it as a hypothetical, like hypothetically, what if we plan to move to Albania? I could see people get really like I don't defensive, or I don't know,
Like
just
protective.
protective. That's the word I'm looking for. Protective of like, oh no, why not? It's like, wait a minute. I just said this was hypothetical. This is not actually happening. Why are you
Yeah.
getting all anxious over there? Why are you,
Yeah.
like, why are you
Idea
freaking
is
out?
so scary, right?
What's scaring you about this
Conversation. So
hypothetical?
exactly.
Um, and yeah, fascinating. That even just the
It is
idea is like scary.
right. Absolutely. So scary that I won't even talk to you about it. Right. It's like
Yeah,
I'm not we're not signing up for anything. I didn't buy plane tickets.
nothing's happening actually. Um, but yeah, how interesting. Um,
And I'm coming to not coming to. I've long felt that my favorite word in the English language is if, because it allows you to just explore an idea. If this were the case, then what? If
yeah.
these conditions, then how do we go on from there? And it is an improv thing too. If this is true, what else is true? So if it is not the case that this guy standing on stage right now is a magical wizard from the land of Zorpnon, but if he was, what else is true here?
I love that. There's a lot of wisdom I can take from improv. I also use yes and a lot in session with clients because I
For
think it
sure.
works therapeutically as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My
So
favorite thing about yes and is you can say yes and I completely disagree with you. So-
true. I mostly use it in the context of two things can be true at once. Like,
yeah.
yes, and also this can be true.
One of my favorite sports podcasts uses the line "things can be two things." I love that phrasing.
Oh, I love that. Things can be two things. Also true. Um, yeah, we haven't talked about couples work in a minute. I can't recall the last time that we did, but this is such an interesting little tool that you have in your toolbox, Adam.
Yeah, and it's so interesting. I can't get couples to do it. Generally speaking, I did have one client recently actually do this with their partner, and they got about a half hour into it, and they're like, "All right, this is silly," and they quit. And I said, "You did it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
that's it.
you did it. At
That's
least you
all
did
it
the
is."
thing.
Right. But later in that very same conversation, that same client then said, "Yeah, and then my partner brought up blah 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 thing," and I was like, "No, absolutely not." I was like, "That's Albania."
Wait a minute. Yeah. Oh man.
But at that
Um,
point, we now had a shorthand for it, and he knowingly was like, "Yep, all right, I see it.
yeah, that's
We'll go talk."
Albania.
You
Oh,
want
how
to know how I picked
interesting.
Albania, by the way?
Yeah, why did you pick Albania?
I could be wrong about this, so please don't take this to the bank or the immigration office. But my understanding is that for many countries around the world, you get one, at least the United States, an American passport. I think you get 1 year of visa-free access. So you could just show up and walk up to immigration and be let in for a year, which is amongst the most permissive borders I think I've ever heard of. Um, who knows what's changed? I'm not sure which nations that's still applicable for. My information is old and I didn't research it deeply, but that's how I picked them.
That's fascinating. Somebody, fact check. Not that I don't trust you. That's really fascinating. That's
I
really cool.
barely trust myself on
If
this one,
that's
but
true. Trust
and
you on many
also,
things, but
yeah, well, even when you have high confidence, you could be wrong about things. So who knows?
there you go. Um, but yeah, on the homework front, like I agree. Like the homework is for you, for the client, not for me, the therapist. So if you do it, great, because it's for your benefit. If you don't, then okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Anything else on this front of plan to move to Albania?
I think we conveyed the idea. I think the general idea is practice having absurd conversations about things that you have no interest in actually adopting. It's not you're in no danger and nobody's forcing you to do anything.
There you go. There you go.
So quit with the posturing.
Yes. Yes. All right. Let's see what we got here. New quote. Da-da-da-da. Okay, I guess I should do this one. Wait, did I not? I feel like I said this one last time. Did I not?
I
No, I
don't
didn't.
think so.
Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. I'm getting confused, people. Okay. Don't accidentally discard the story of your love in favor of the story of your loss.
Mm.
Hmm.
I feel like someone told me this one. I don't remember where I got this one from, but I think it is so easy, especially when you've lost a partnership or a love, even of, a pet, a family member, a place, a time in your life, a passion, that you can start to flip the narrative to what you don't have anymore rather than what you did have for so long. And I think it's important to remember both, right? Like there is a story of the having, of the experiencing, and it would be so easy when I'm thinking of my former mentor and huge loss in my life, to just focus on the tragedy of losing him so early in our relationship. But God damn, I really enjoyed having him in my life, and he had such a huge impact on my career and my mentality. In some ways, even my personal psychology. I can't stay focused just on what I lost. I got to remember what I had with him.
Yeah, this is another quote, but it's the would you rather have loved and lost than to never have loved at all?
Mm.
And I think it's interesting to see the people that would answer to never have loved at all, because I think just because you did lose the thing, if it was real and did bring you happiness and joy and all of those amazing feelings that love brings, like that matters. And that just because you lost it doesn't negate that it happened, and you can still hold the fact that it happened and cherish that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And not to be Dr. Buzzkill here, but you're going to lose all of your loves. We all do. That is how this works. Entropy is inevitable. It
Adam,
all
you
goes
just had to bring down the mood. You just had to get all depressive. No.
yeah.
Yes, even if it's true. Yes, but
Yeah. But I think that's where that mentality of I would rather have never loved at all comes from, is a deep-seated discomfort with change and loss. And really that comes back to, I think, in most cases, a discomfort with particular emotions. So the work in that context, truly, like if the answer to that question is I'd rather not have loved at all, the work to be done there is to grow more comfortable with those emotions.
Yeah. I can't help but think of a couple Taylor Swift songs that deal specifically with this concept. One is Happiness on Folklore, basically saying there was happiness because of you in our relationship, and there will be happiness after you. Both of these things can be true.
Yes.
Yes. And her new song, I Knew It, I Knew You, is just about like remembering the love that you had for someone and being able to like resurface those emotions and remember them fondly. So anyways.
Yeah. And if we remember that love is a verb, and if you are consciously paying attention to loving on purpose verbically, then I think the right answer to the loves that were lost is I did what I meant to do. When we were together, I loved you. And that's what I meant to do. And I did that on purpose. And now I need to do other things, love other people. That's where we're at now. So do what you mean to do and do it on purpose while you're doing it.
Yeah. Especially if you gave it your all. And it reminds me of that episode we did with the Ethan Hawke quote that he gave about like, how did he phrase it?
The one whose loving never loses.
Yeah.
Or something like that, or always wins. Yeah.
Yes, always
He's more
wins.
positive than me. He would never have said that shit about entropy.
Oh, yes. So while losing a partner can be absolutely devastating and hard emotions to experience, like that doesn't negate like all the wonderful memories and love that you had with that person before that. So it doesn't have to just be the story of the loss. You can yes and it.
Exactly. Life is going to make you, so you might as well roll with it.
There you go. And that what I just did, that's called a callback, okay? Anyways.
Like a true comedian.
All right. I think we should end it there. This little mini-sode that we had going today. Thank you everyone for listening. As always, please follow us on Instagram at DelvePsych Chicago and Substack, delvepsych.substack.com. Do check out that. And then we do offer individual, couples, groups, and family therapy. So head on over to delvepsych.com, DELVEPSYCH.com for a free consultation call. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.